Hello, class 9th. Today we are continuing the chapter 6, The Age of the Guptas. Today's topic is political developments. So the objectives of today's topic are Samudragupta from 335 till 380 CE, an estimate of Samudragupta. Now let's discuss some key terms. Number 1, dynasty. A series of rulers or leaders who are all from the same family. Number 2, patron. A person who gives money and support to artists, writers, and musicians. Number 3, suzerainty. A dominant state controlling the foreign relations of a vassal state but allowing its sovereign authority in its internal affairs. The Gupta dynasty was founded by Maharaja Shrigupta. He was followed by his son Ghatotkacha Gupta. After him, Chandragupta I came to the throne, who was the first powerful ruler of the Gupta dynasty. He married Kumara Devi, a Licchavi princess of Vaishali. With the support of Licchavis, Chandragupta I was able to conquer a number of territories. He became the ruler of Prayag, Allahabad, Saket, Awadh and Magad, South Bihar. Now come to the reading part. Political developments, page number 153. The rise of the Gupta dynasty is regarded as an important event in Indian history. Under the Gupta kings, India made such a progress in almost every field that it is regarded as the Golden Age. This dynasty ruled for a little more than 200 years from 320 CE to 540 CE. The period of about 2 centuries from early 4th century AD is known as the imperial age of the Guptas. During this period, India made progress in the field of education, science and culture. The period is also known as the classical age or the golden age of Indian history. Samudragupta 335 till 380 CE. Chandragupta I from 320 till 335 CE was the founder of the Gupta dynasty. He was succeeded by his illustrious, means famous, son and one of the ablest kings of ancient India, Samudragupta. In the north, he extended his empire up to the Chambal river by defeating the Naga kings of Mathura, Gwalior and Ahichatra. But his most important military exploit was his Deccan campaign. He covered a long distance of 3,000 miles through dense forest with the same boldness as that of Alexander and Napoleon. While marching towards the south, he defeated various powerful rulers. Sometimes a confederacy means a union of states of various rulers. All bowed means sign of respect before his mighty power. However, he did not annex any portion of the Deccan as it would make his empire too big to rule. He felt contented, means satisfied, to make the southern kings accept his suzerainty. It shows that he was a wise statesman. Chandragupta I was succeeded by his son Samudragupta. He is considered to be the greatest ruler of the Gupta dynasty. He extended his empire up to the Chambal river by defeating the Naga kings of Mathura, Gwalior and Ahichatra. Like Alexander, he was daring. During his famous Deccan campaign, he covered more than 3,000 miles through dense forest. Though he defeated many powerful rulers, he did not annex southern territories. He made the southern kings accept his authority and allowed them to rule. Samudragupta is also said to have subjugated, means conquered, the forest tribes dwelling in central India and defeated 9 republican tribes of Rajasthan. The 5 frontier states, Samtata or modern Bengal, Devaka or modern North Assam, Kamrup or Assam, Nepal, and Kartarpur or modern Terai region accepted his suzerainty and paid him heavy tributes. He maintained friendly relations with neighboring states like the Shakas, the Kushanas, the Shahis of Punjab, and the king of Sri Lanka, namely Meghavarman. Some of these rulers also paid him tributes. It is because of his great military exploits that Samudragupta is generally compared with Napoleon. Samudragupta conquered the forest tribes living in central India. He defeated the rulers of Aryavrat, presently major part of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, that included 9 states. These kingdoms were made a part of Samudragupta Empire and they were ruled directly by him. The inner circle of neighboring states including Assam, coastal Bengal, Nepal, the kingdoms of the Ganga Delta and the tribal republics of Northwest. They accepted his power, followed his orders, paid tribute and attended his court. He maintained friendly relations with neighboring states like the Shakas, the Kushanas, the Shahis of the Punjab, and the king of Sri Lanka, namely Meghavarman. These rulers submitted to Samudragupta, paid tribute, and offered daughters in marriage. His empire extended from river Brahmaputra in the east to rivers Yamuna and Chambal in the west and from Himalayas in the north to the river Narmada in the south. Samudragupta was a great conqueror and able statesman as well as a patron of arts. His empire extended from Brahmaputra in the east to rivers Yamuna and Chambal in the west, and from Himalayas in the north to Narmada in the south. It is because of his bravery and generalship that he is known as the Napoleon of India. An estimate of Samudragupta. Samudragupta was a great conqueror and he rightly deserves to be called the Indian Napoleon. He was also a great patron and lover of art and literature. He himself was a great musician and an expert veena player. Many of his coins show him playing the veena. He was an accomplished scholar and a poet of high order. Samudragupta was a follower of Hinduism, but his greatness lies in the fact that he was equally tolerant towards other religions. In short, we can say that he was a versatile genius and possessed exceptional qualities of head and heart. Samudragupta was not only a great warrior but also a great musician and talented poet. He was fond of playing the veena. Many of his coins show him playing the veena. He was also a great patron and lover of art and literature. His court was full of great scholars and literary persons. Though he was a follower of Hinduism, yet he was equally tolerant towards other religions. He also had faith in Vedic sacrifices. He had exceptional qualities of head and heart. So students, we have discussed till here. Learn the basic terms. Follow the SNAP homework. Thank you.